Mics are up. How the mic sounding, honey?
Wonderful.
It's a beautiful thing. Fishing champs, what's up? And welcome to another episode of Mr. Poseidon's live stream with his lovely wife. Let's say hello.
Hi, everybody.
How you doing, honey?
Great.
I've been driving you crazy as usual. I drive you crazy all the time. Damn it! Let's not curse on air. We're not allowed to do that. So, no, we had a good day today, though, right? We went shopping this morning. You only threw one tomato at me. It was great. No scenes in the supermarket, right?
No, not today.
Not today, guys. No way. So what's up, everybody? I'm glad to see everybody's on the live stream again this week. Gonna have a good one this week. We got Chris. That's Chris on Instagram. LI SHARKMAN. That's official, baby. LI SHARKMAN official. We got him on the show. He's been on the show before. We're gonna talk about his shark fishing out there and an escapade he had a few weeks ago. Little accident on the surf while fishing for the shark. But I'm gonna stop it right there and hold off for Chris to tell that story. Trust me, he tells it a lot better than I do, especially when you're the man involved. Anyhow, let's say hello to a few people. Let's say hello to a few people who are here today. Chet Zing, what's up, buddy? Oski, 007 up there in the Cape Cod Canal. Yeah. Outcast, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you again. I was down there on Monday, man. Nothing going on. The hot weather really killed it. I heard there was one guy just got one schoolie. But other than that, I'll be back very soon.
It's hotter now than it was last month.
I know. It's ridiculous. John Francisconi, there's danger in the water. That's right. Danger in the water. What's up, Johnny? How you doing? Good to see you. Edwin Rivera. Cheers to you, my brother. Kevin R. How you feeling? Kevin R.'s had a little back problem, too. He's been out. Wishing him to feel better. Your stuff will be going out actually tomorrow morning. It's all wrapped and ready to go, Kevin. So I hope that makes you feel a little bit better. But we all wishing you a quick recovery, my brother. All right, let's continue on. We got Night Shift Fishing Matt. What's up, Matt? Matt's the man up at the Cape Cod Canal. Check his videos out. I watch them all the time. Very cool stuff and very knowledgeable, such as educational. Thanks, Matt. Thanks a lot, buddy, for all you do for our community, the surf fishing community. Wormway, how you doing, buddy? What's going on? The Striper Hunt. Hey, buddy, what's going on? Good to see you. Joe Albanese, president of the Hudson River Association that I'm a proud member of. Joe Albanese bought his ticket. He'll be heading down. He got his dates a little mixed up about getting on out. He was going to Block Island, still going to Block Island, but just a week later. So he's going to be joining us up there. I'm glad you're joining us, Joe. Thanks very much. And thanks for that pineapple gift a few weeks ago. That made me feel a lot better. Trust me. Mike Kish, what's up? Thomas Porter, Sunday. That's right. That's right, Tom. Here we go. It's a beautiful thing. Thanks for coming to the show, bro. Appreciate you. Who else we got out there? If I missed anybody, I'll catch you during the show. Other than that, I'd like to head on over to our guest. Anything else we should be talking about other than the Montauk Challenge? Guys, I want you guys to join.
Yeah.
There's, I think, in the teens now as far as bonus boxes left. We've upped the stakes this week. $3,500 first prize. Second prize is $1,000. And third prize is $500. We're also going to have some challenges on the side, such as the long distance challenge, longest cast. That's $500 to the winner. Also, we're going to do a most accurate cast, $500 to the winner. All rules and regulations you can find out on Eventbrite. Check it out there. Tell you everything you need to know. Just make sure you register. Your bonus boxes. The bonus boxes. Today, let's talk about Mike Zinger. I just got his product today. Just came in the mail. Well, not today, yesterday. But anyhow, thank you, Mike Zinger, for all you do for the surf fishing community. You make some excellent products, dude. I love your plastics. I call them the toughest in the business, and I know I'm not wrong. A lot of people feel the same about that. Anyhow, also we got, like I said, the bonus boxes are loaded. Something I'll show you guys right now. So when you guys show up at the awards night, last year I had perforated edges on the ticket that you'll be getting this year to enter, and then you'll have the perforated edges for the drawing ticket here on the end. You fill out your name on the other side, and you hand that in. Last year we had drinks and appetizers on that. This year, I decided to, I'll show you guys. Let me get this right. So I decided to put them on tokens this year. You can see I got a Montauk one free drink on the blue one, and on the red one we got one free appetizer. They're exactly like casino chips, good stuff, and memorabilia you guys can take off after. I'll get those back. You have to hand them in, but I'll hand them back out to everybody who's there. Also, you're going to have a nice pin on there. It's considered a jewelry quality piece as far as I have hard enamel, silver edgings, and so on. Really beautiful piece. What else do we got in there, honey?
Also, we want to mention the Cuda brand ruler that everyone's getting.
Yeah, everybody's getting the Cuda brand ruler.
That's what they're going to measure their fish with.
That's right. If you look under, again, rules and
Submit the
regulations
photo.
on Eventbrite, there's a picture there of how we like the picture to be taken, the only way it will be accepted. Also, there'll be a VS 250 X2 Series reel by Van Stoll. Somebody will be a lucky winner in one of those boxes chosen.
We'll have that ticket.
And we'll have that ticket, and you'll win, and you'll be accepting that prize on awards night also. And we'll be giving away another VS 250 at
drawing.
awards night at the drawing over there, and lots of other
prizes in the
great
drawings.
prizes. Turtle Cove Tackle, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Nice to see you on the show. Ronnie M. Antagonizer Laws. Danny D. Morales. All right, so let's get to our main event here tonight. We got Chris. That's the LI Sharkman official. Check him out on Instagram. This guy's grown. Like, I drink like a glass of water. Like when you start the glass, you start at 0 followers, and by the time you're done with your glass, you got 187,000. Whoa, whoa. Anyway, all right, Chris. Let's say hello to Chris. Chris, what's up, and welcome to the show tonight.
What's going on, man? Thank you for having me.
It's a beautiful thing, baby. It's
Happy to
nice.
be here.
It's nice to have you here too, pal. So, how's it been going, Chris? How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm almost 3 weeks out from that injury that I had. Season was unbelievable this year. Took a lot of people out on the beach, and we did really, really well. And then caught a couple hundred sharks this year, a ton of stingrays, a couple different species of sharks this year, actually. And then I'm sure you've heard, and I'm sure everybody, a couple people watching or whoever has seen on my Instagram, I got barbed by a stingray 3 weeks ago. Pretty tough.
Chris, before you even
pretty bad.
before you even start telling us that, I just want to make sure everybody understands out there. Chris was fishing, doing his shark fishing. He was on a guide over there at a charter. He did get attacked by a stingray, and right now I'm going to let him tell that story right now. So go ahead, Chris.
All right, so I've caught thousands of stingrays. I mean, I've been doing this for over 10 years now, and I've definitely caught close to 1,000, if not thousands, of stingrays. I've had days where I catch, just stingrays, not even any sharks. So, I mean, I remember days I caught 10 stingrays on one, like the whole week I'd catch 10 a day, because I'm out there for anywhere from 5 to 8 hours, sometimes 9 hours, or if I'm doing a double and I'm taking 2 charters, I'll be out there for sometimes 12 hours. And usually I have somebody holding the tail of the stingray, and then I'll be working on the hook to remove the hook. A lot of guys don't like to remove the hook; they like to cut the line. They don't want to mess around with that the dangerous barb, and some people are just not comfortable, so they end up cutting the line, which I don't, I'm not against, but I definitely would rather get the hook out of the fish's mouth, regardless of what type of fish it is. And like I said, I've done it hundreds of times, maybe even thousands of times, and this one specific time I had a group out. It was a young boy. I think it was like maybe 15 years old, him, his mother, and 2 other family members. And actually the first fish that hit, it was a bullnose stingray. Those bullnoses, actually, we just started seeing them, I think, maybe 5 years ago on Long Island. They're actually native to New Zealand. Wow. A lot of people think, oh, he got nailed by a stingray. They might think of the rough tail stingrays, because those are pretty prevalent around Long Island. But these are actually the bullnose, which usually come in like early August. Again, they come in because of the water warmer temperatures, and they swim in schools of, you know, hundreds when they come in. So that day, we actually caught a bunch the day before that charter, and I knew that we were gonna see those again this day that we went out, and the rod went down, and they put up a really good fight. Those bullnose, it's a lot of fun. So I put the kid on the rod. He's reeling it in, and he had just gotten out of a cast, actually, that the kid that I was, you know, chartering,
Right.
and I think he got out of the cast like a couple days before the charter, and he was so excited. And he said, "No, we're still gonna do it." His mother said, "No, we're still gonna do it." But the mother had told me, "Oh, he just got out of a cast. Can you just, you know, deal with the fish, or whatever shark or whatever you guys catch? Can you just deal with it and have him, you know, stand back a little because his foot, you know, he was limping on the beach." So I said, "Yeah, no problem. You know, have him stay back. I'll go work on the fish when I feel it's safe for him to run in. Have him run in and, you know, take a picture with the stingray." Well, we brought the stingray, and I have one of my workers. He's one of my employees who, you know, helps me out. He's behind the camera. He does all the footage. Obviously, I got to have somebody on the footage for all the social media stuff. So he's on the footage. Then my other partner was on the rod, and I went down to the water to grab the stingray. And usually I have the client holding the stingray's tail. Now, they're always holding it toward the tip of the tail because that barb, the venomous barb, is at the base of the tail. It's
Correct.
A lot of people think it's at the tip, but it's not. So as long as you hold the tip of the tail, you know, you can control that barb moving left and right. And now, me, having done this so many times, I guess I just got too comfortable.
Yeah.
And I didn't even think. I'm like, nobody's holding the tail. I completely forgot nobody was holding the tail. Such a rookie kind of mistake. But when you do this for so long, if you really think about it, the people who are doing it longer are the ones that are really most likely going to make mistakes because you get comfortable with yourself. So basically what happened was I flipped the stingray over. I finagled the hook out of its mouth, and my left shin was pressed against his wing. I guess he must have felt, the warmth of my leg, or he felt me touching his wing. And that barb just went, it just swung around, came down. And the second it hit me, you know, it's like you stub your toe. Like, you don't feel any pain within the first, 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So I felt it. You could hear on the video, I cursed. I pulled my leg back, and I looked down. And I'm like, no way. In my head, everything was going in my head. It was like slow-mo. I was like, no way, he just got me. Like, I'd rather be bit by a shark or stepped on a needle or something. So I looked down. I'm like, no way. So I just see gushing blood. So I took my thumb, and it was bad. I took my thumb, and I went to go plug my the wound, and it was actually 2 wounds because I saw 2 wounds. I look at the stingray, and I see he's double barbed. He had 2 barbs coming out. So basically, I look down, I try to pick up my foot, and I just see, blood going into the ocean and out of my wound. And I said, no way, no way. And first thing I'm...
Hold on, buddy. I think we got a little stoppage here. Hold on. I think we lost him. We lost the Sharkman.
Oh, no.
Chris, got to get him back. Just when the story was going good, the commercial came. So, do you guys drink Coca-Cola? Don't, because I don't either.
Okay. Man. All right, let's try and get Chris back.
Yeah, let's try and get him back.
So let me go like this.
Yeah.
And get him back here.
Something's up. Yeah, guys, so he fishes sharks hard. You could see him on Instagram. I follow him. Chris, there he is.
Hey.
All right, Chris. So something happened. I think it was a shark. Anyway. Yeah.
Oh man.
I know.
So,
what was the last thing we heard?
It was me. That's who it was. Did you see me?
Oh boy.
All right. Anyway.
So where were we? Where did I get?
Yeah.
Last thing we heard
was when you looked down and you noticed that the stingray had 2 barbs.
Yeah, believe it or not, a lot of them actually do have 2 barbs, but some of them I've caught had no barbs at all. And actually, what happens is their primary predator are obviously sharks, and they'll try to defend themselves against the shark because the shark obviously attacks from behind, and they try to not shoot out, but they try to jab the shark in its mouth, and then it'll break off in the shark's jaw. If you look on Shark Week, if you pay attention to the shark's mouth on Shark Week, you could see some of them actually have stingray barbs that are lodged in their jaws, but they grow back within a year. But anyway, this specific stingray, I got lucky enough where it had two barbs.
Oh,
so I got nailed twice, and I look down. I see two pretty deep wounds. The first one I knew was deep because I seen my bone, you know.
Chris.
So I just took my thumb, I plugged it, and actually the woman, the kid's mother was actually a nurse. So she comes running down, which was my client's mother. She comes running down, and she takes a shirt and just wraps my ankle because it was bleeding pretty bad. And I'm like, and I'm just still in my head. I'm like, no way. I'm like, this can't be a stingray barb. It can't be, because I know how much bacteria is on those stingray barbs. I know that they're serrated. I know that they're loaded with neurotoxins.
Right.
So once all that went through my brain, like I'm just thinking about all this. I'm like, no way, this couldn't happen. And then it just hit me. The pain was, oh my God, it was excruciating pain. So she's wrapping my wound, and she's, you know, putting pressure, because you stop the bleed. You apply pressure.
Yeah.
Well, we're applying pressure, not knowing that there's a residual piece of the barb broken off in my foot. So now we don't know. We're trying to stop the bleeding, and really we're just ripping more tissue inside of my foot. So now I'm just in excruciating pain, and just make a long story short, it took a while to get to the hospital. I should have honestly hopped to my car and we got to the hospital, but by the time the ambulance came, I got to the hospital. It was probably like an hour and 20 minutes. And if anybody's listening to this, the first thing you're supposed to do with a stingray wound is you need to put warm water, well, really as hot as you can tolerate in that wound, because it denatures. There's a protein in the barb. So I actually have this is actually a stingray barb here. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, we could see it.
It's serrated on the edges, and then on the inside of the barb, there's two grooves, and in those grooves, there's something called a neurotoxin.
Oh, goodness.
So that neurotoxin, what it does is the second that it hits any tissue, it goes right to the nerves and the neurons, and it just annihilates them. It just makes them quiver. It attacks the neurons, so that it's extremely painful, so that a shark doesn't come back around to try and eat that same stingray.
Wow.
They'll feel that extreme pain, and then they'll just, they'll swim off and not come for a second round.
Amazing,
but
Chris.
I'm not a shark, so
Chris.
I can't handle the pain that a shark had. So I was like scratching at the sand. I don't even remember anything, but people would tell me like, "Oh, you were scratching at the sand, like,
man,
you were trying to pour water on it." Like, it was nice that people from all over the beach are coming down trying to pour water on it, asking if I'm okay. But we didn't know that to stop that pain and denature that neurotoxin, you need warm water.
Yeah.
So basically, I was in pain in the ambulance till we got to the hospital, and even in the hospital, it took maybe like a good half hour for them to research it and look on Google, because they're like, "Oh, you got a stinger in your foot? Oh, no problem. We're gonna take it out." I said, "Okay, what do you guys?" So they put the lidocaine in my foot, and this guy comes in fishing around inside my ankle. I said, "What are you guys doing? You gonna pull it out?" They're like, "Yeah, we're gonna pull the stinger out." I said, "Hold on. You can't pull it out. It's serrated like a knife. It goes in. You try to pull it out, you're gonna rip all the tissue out."
Right.
So I showed him a picture on Google. I said, "This is what the barb looks like." They're like, "Oh my God."
Chris, I got to stop you 1 second.
Yeah.
I am shocked-ified right now, because I went through my own issues with my own surgery that I had. And, these doctors, I feel, are a little retarded until you give them a little information. Who are the real doctors here? So tell me, Chris, tell me.
Listen, doctors are obviously they're very, very smart. They know what they're doing.
Of course.
But this is the thing. It's a special injury. You don't see these type of injuries.
There you
maybe
go.
Florida, they see maybe like per summer, they see, I think, around 20 stingray, stings or stingray wounds a year. Up here in New York, we don't see that a lot. So
no, we don't.
And even when we do see it, we don't know how to treat it. We don't know that the barb is loaded with bacteria, different types of bacteria. Even this one specific one called Vibrio, which is actually a flesh-eating bacteria that's actually becoming more and more prevalent on our shores of Long Island, which is scary. Like a lot of people think, oh, I got to cut. Oh yeah, go into the water. The salt water will take care of it.
Yeah, right.
That is not the thing to do.
Holy
You know, that's
cow.
like an old medic kind of thing. Oh yeah, just you let the salt water, it'll heal it. No, there's so much bacteria that the salinity does not kill in that salt water. So that's another thing for everybody to be aware of. You know, you get a hook through your finger fishing or anything. Oh yeah, just go put it in the salt. No, it's very bad.
Wow.
So anyway,
Well, we are going to lose you, Chris. We lost you.
Oh,
No, he's back. He's back. Chris?
I'm here.
Yeah, baby. Let's go. The barb is out.
Anyway, so you got that neurotoxin, which causes the extreme pain, which could have been solved in minutes if we had warm water, but whatever. And then there's two other major proteins in that stingray barb groove, and what that does is it causes immediate necrosis. Necrosis is dying tissue. So whatever tissue it touches, muscle tissue, subcutaneous skin tissue, fatty tissue, it kills it right away. So I had that barb left in me for 12 hours in the hospital because I had no surgeon. There was no surgeon available till the next morning. So I had to stay overnight. I was on heavy antibiotics. I still am 3 weeks later. Right. And it's no joke. I mean,
Chris,
the next morning they did the surgery, and the surgeon came in, very nice guy, and he said, all right, we're going to do this. I asked him a couple questions. How do you plan on getting it out? Because it's serrated. Like, are you going to clean the wound? Are you going to, flush it out with, high pressure and stuff like that? And are you going to take x-rays? Are there going to be any extra, residual barbs in there that broke off? And actually, he took out 6 pieces, he told me the next morning. And he said there were 6 pieces. I guess it went in. He said it got lodged into the bone of my ankle. And I guess from the squeezing, we cracked it, 6 times. So they took all that out. They sent it out to toxicology. I never got a report back on that. I'm still on the heavy antibiotics.
Wow.
But it's just, I'm thinking like I was looking up stingray wounds, this and that. And online it says it's one of the most painful things you can go through. Then it says people get bad infections in this. So I started like freaking out. I'm a big hypochondriac.
Yeah.
So I'm like freaking out, and I'm just trying to take it slow, but it's tough. I mean, I'll be back. I'm not out of the woods yet, but I'll be back. But it's tough because I don't know what it severed. It definitely severed some of my nerves on my left side of my foot because I can't feel some parts of it. And then I don't know what it did vascular wise because every time it's 3 weeks now, and every time I put my foot down, within a half hour, my foot swells. So I don't know if that's the blood's not coming back up because of the veins in there. So I don't know.
Man, this is
it's not. It ain't fun. But if anything, I'd like people to learn from this to really, have somebody dedicated to holding the stingray's tail.
Sure.
And if you really ain't comfortable, cut that line. As close to the mouth as possible. If you're standing in front of a stingray, it cannot get you. The barb will not be able to. The tail will whip you. It'll get you.
Okay.
But the barb, which is what we're worried about, will not be able to get you.
Yeah.
Unless you're standing. If you look at the stingray and you see its wings and you cut it horizontally with an imaginary line, if you're standing on the back side of it, you're vulnerable to that barb. If you're standing on the front side toward the nose, you aren't. Okay. But again, have somebody dedicated to holding that tail because you don't want to end up with what I'm going through right now. I think it's a good learning point, teaching point. It brings us guys who are on there on the beach every day, it brings us back to reality to like really, I know a ton of guys on Long Island that are fishing for sharks and just fishing in general. Like everybody gets so comfortable whatever you're doing. And it's tough to not get comfortable, put it that way. And we really just every time just try to fish as if it's like your first time fishing. Like take all the necessary precautions and don't get too comfortable with any way of fishing. Don't get too comfortable with the way you take your striped bass off the hook. You know what I mean? The guys sometimes go in there, they just stick their hands right in the
I know, man.
And they'll get a hook, one of them treble hooks go through. I see it all the time. But
I have to ask you, Chris. I have to ask you. So hearing this story, I'm even shocked right now because I got a lot of the details from you right now. I'm shocked. But one of the good things that we heard is that it'll be probably tough for us to get, hot water on the beach. But at least if we can make it to one of the stands or somewhere up on
Right.
shore where we can get hot water. So that's a good tip.
Exactly.
But what I want to
Exactly.
ask you is, so to be, to prevent this from happening to somebody else, what are like some of the major precautions that they should be looking out for if they hooked up on a fish and they're looking to get the hook out of its mouth again? I want to repeat what you just said. I know what you just said.
Definitely have somebody dedicated to holding the tail at the tip, not at the bottom, not at the base, at the tip. And it's no joke to go over to that thing. I had clients sometimes, they're like, "Oh, I want to go touch that barb over." I'm like, "Get away from that barb." I have a couple videos. These guys want to touch it, but the main thing to do:
Wow.
grab the stingray by the tip of the tail. Have somebody dedicated to doing that, and then the other person. The best way that I've learned is you obviously keep all these fish in the wash because they need water, and you flip. I flip the stingray over. Some people say, "Oh, that's not good for if it's flipped over for a minute to provide safety for yourself and honestly the fish to get that hook out faster.
Nice.
It's worth it." So you basically have somebody dedicated to holding the tail at the tip, and you flip it over, take the hook out. These stingrays, they rarely swallow the hook. I've never really seen them swallow the hook, maybe like 2 times in the past 10 years.
Right.
And it's so easy to jig that hook out. And then you flip it back over, and when you're releasing it back in the ocean, that guy or girl who's dedicated to holding that tail does not let go until you say let go. The guy who's getting the hook out. So basically, what I do is I bring the stingray back into the water, and as I bring it back into the water, I still have my partner holding the stingray's tail, and then I'll make sure I'm basically I have my arms hyperextended all the way out with the stingray, and I'm basically almost like sliding the stingray away from my body into the ocean. And then that's when the second my hands let go, that's when I say to my partner, "Okay, let go of the tail," boom, and then it's out.
Then it's out. Yeah, I see.
You gotta it's a small barb. It's not very long. I mean, look here. I mean, this is maybe like a 7-inch, 6-inch
but it
barb.
causes so much damage, bro.
Yeah, so just keep your space from that barb. But they're very strong. When they maneuver this barb, they're very, very strong with it. You would think that you could just hold the tail and the base of it, like at the tip of the tail, and it won't, swing. But you ask somebody who's holding the tail how powerful they gotta really hold it. It's not just like, oh, hold it, easy.
Yeah.
You really gotta grip that thing. And then when this goes into their, whatever they're trying to sting or whatever they're trying to attack, they basically puncture whatever it is, a shark, whatever me, and then they vibrate it actually inside so that it rips the tissue.
Holy
It
smokes!
ain't fun, but I hope everybody gets to learn something, because I learned something big time. I got hunting season coming now, and it's kind of, honestly, it's kind of depressing to sit there and just, I'm an active guy. I'm always.
I know how you feel, buddy.
My friends all know I'm always upstate. I'm hunting up there. I'm getting ready for hunting. I'm shark fishing. I'm going down to Florida, out to a couple different states for hunting. And for me to sit down, it's like driving me crazy.
I know, Chris. I know how you feel. Now, listen, buddy. I'm a little bit older than you are. So when I went down with my broken ankle, I literally, I drove my wife nuts, number one, right? I drove you nuts. And I couldn't go fishing. I was going down to the river watching guys fish. I couldn't fish, bro. I couldn't move. I could only move on flat surface. Even if you fish by the river, you got to get down on the rocks. You got to move around. I'm not going to ask somebody, here's my rod, reel it in. For me, that's not fishing. So I just basically went down, right? It killed me, Chris.
Terrible.
So I understand where you're coming
from.
But
you still went down, and that's like, I still had clients booked after that. I still have clients booked to this day, and hopefully my doctor's not in here, but he said no weight on the foot, nothing. And, I mean, I took the crutches on the beach on all my charters, and I'm flying baits out. I got a couple people helping me out, run the charter, because that I trust, and I'm there, and I just can't, I can't run to different rods. I can't go in the water. But I mean, the last charter I did, I went in on my knees and unhooked the shark. They were having a little trouble unhooking one of the sharks, and I went in there, 2 seconds, boom, boom. Right. I just had to, like, my body. I'm sitting there in the chair with my foot up, and I'm looking. I'm like, my body had to get up and go do something. So I did that. I mean,
all right. So Chris, I got some more. I want to ask you some more questions. I know there are lots of people who are interested in also going shark fishing. So if somebody wanted to go shark fishing, what would you tell them? You know, a couple of pointers on what they should be doing safety-wise, things like that.
Okay, so first thing is know when you're going shark fishing before you're not when you're going shark fishing, but before you're going shark fishing. You got to know all the rules and regulations in your state, because I'm sure people are going to be not only fishing in New York, but like a lot of people like to go to, you know, up north, Massachusetts, down to North Carolinas and Florida, even Texas. You know, you got to know your rules and regulations. Is I'd say the first thing, because every state's different. Some states don't know what they're talking about on rules and regulations, and other states do know what they're talking about, and you could get very confused because one state might say that this hook size is applicable when you're going shark fishing, and then the other state has a total opposite, which doesn't make sense, which we might get into later today.
Sure.
But so know your rules and regulations. Know that you need to have I would say always have bolt cutters, because God forbid you need to cut the wire leader. Bolt cutters is a must. And then pliers, a hook puller, gloves, and a tail rope if you need it. I don't really use tail ropes, but a lot of guys, it's good if you need a tail rope to help you handle the fish. But a good place to look is, even if you're fishing, if you're not fishing, and even if you're not fishing in Florida, look at the Florida rules and regulations. That fishery really has the fishing regulations and what to have and what to do and how to treat the fish properly. That state has it down to a T. I mean, they're the shark capital of the world, so you would think that they do, which they do. So I would say definitely look at their regulations and apply it to everywhere you're fishing, except when you're looking at the rules, look towards every state. But when you're looking at gear, look at Florida. They really know what they're talking about. And here in New York, if you're asking about New York, we're going to have to see what happens with rules and regulations here, because there were a couple of hearings that went on over the summer, and we're going to see what happens I'm thinking the springtime they're going to implement different rules and regulations, and I think everybody should look at that and see what nonsense is going to be going on with that. When I say nonsense, they were looking to implement these tiny hook sizes that are actually they put the shark more in danger of being gut hooked, when New York State was actually saying how they were stating that they were trying to protect sharks. If New York State was actually looking to protect sharks, a lot of those rules and regulations actually would not be put into place. Using too small of hooks, New York State wants to set a minimum, a maximum hook size of, I think it was like 8.0 or 10.0. If you use those hook sizes when shark fishing, most of those sharks are going to get gut hooked, especially the bigger caliber ones. Wow. The larger sharks, like 10 foot, and that's one of the main things. They wanted to restrict leader sizes, and if you look at what New York is going to implement, it's the actual total opposite of Florida. And Florida, again, like I said, is the shark fishing capital of the world. Why wouldn't New York look to them to construct some of the rules and regulations and gear restrictions?
Because everybody's the boss.
I know what it is they're not trying to protect sharks. They're trying to prohibit land-based shark fishing, which in turn, it'll never be done. The only way that New York State can stop shark fishing is by saying, okay, nobody is allowed to fish for anything on the beaches of New York, which will never happen, because then you're affecting every community out there, you know? So, I mean, they can make regulations, no kayaking this, no droning this, you know? You can still catch these fish on a cast. It's just, I think New York should really look at the fish itself and say, okay, well, we can't stop land-based shark fishing because it's growing, but let's try to help protect the sharks, not prohibit shark fishing. If you want to protect the shark, you want to use proper gear. And limited hook sizes is not proper gear. So
Hey, Chris, also I wanted to ask, very important. Okay, so we talked a little bit about, if somebody wants to go shark fishing out there, you know what to do. And the first thing you do is, like Chris said, check out the rules and regulations in the area you're going to be fishing in. Very important. Always look to have a partner, also very important.
right.
You got big fish you're dealing with. I don't think you're going to be able to handle a 6-7 foot shark by yourself. You need help. So that's also very important. Now, Chris, you also talked about the rules and regulations they're trying to set with sharks. A lot of us know that in New York, they're really not fluid in the knowledge of sharks to be making rules and regulations when they really don't know. But continuing on that, on people who want to try for sharks, what kind of gear, Chris, would they need to attack this fish?
So I would definitely use anywhere from 50-pound to 80-pound test line. I'm going to talk about spinning gear, but with spinning gear, I would use pretty heavy duty reels. I mean, I use a Shimano Saragossa 20,000. I use a 25,000.
Nice.
And then I get crazy and go to a Makaira 30,000, which that holds like 900 pounds of 80-pound braid and puts out 70 pounds of drag. But that's for the bigger ones. But yeah, just 80-pound line. I'd say between like 50 to 80 pound. And then you want to use a leader of whatever New York State is going to allow.
Right.
And that leader can be metal, plastic. Usually you want right after the hook, you want it to be metal. It could be anywhere from a half a foot to 2 feet, 3. Again, we got to see what New York State wants to do. And then after that, you want to have about 300 to 400 pound mono, because the shark's tail is very abrasive and it's almost like a knife. So if you don't have that mono as a shock leader, basically what happens is you'll have the cable, the hook, the cable, and then the braided line. And when that braided line is so taut like that, all it takes is that shark's fin to just graze it, and it's like a knife. It'll cut right off.
Right.
So,
right.
I mean, I make these rigs on my website. It's sharkbitegear.com. But I make these rigs. They're castable. It's in New York State's regulation. It's in compliance with their new rules if they're going to come out with them. And they're castable. They're probably around 4 to 5 foot rigs, and they have everything that I just mentioned. Even if somebody wanted to look at it and make their own, you can check that out. It's pretty. They're actually pretty good. I've sold a ton of them, and I haven't had one bad review on them.
Nice.
But that's I have all the information on those rigs of what to use, not what to use, but what's in that rig. So it's like it tells you what size hook it is, what type of cable it is, how many pound cable it is, what kind of mono, and but you definitely need that. A lot of people don't know, but you should definitely use that 300 to 400 pound monofilament.
You heard that, guys, straight from the LI SHARKMAN official.
Yeah,
Chris, I also want to ask the rod also.
Rods, a lot of guys go crazy on rods. They spend $300, $400, $500 on rods on these Lamy glass crazy poles.
I'm one of those crazy guys.
For striped bass fishing and blue fishing and stuff like that, yeah, I get it, because they're light, they're easy on the wrist, it's easy to cast multiple times. But when shark fishing, man, I would go to Dick's Sporting Goods. They have a Daiwa rod. It's called a Daiwa FG. It's 11-foot rod. It's $24. I've caught 400, 500-pound sharks on it. 400-pound sharks on a $25 rod.
Now, if that ain't the tip of the day.
Yeah, no. What I do is I buy those, and then I wrap it in. I have this shark bite here. It's like almost like batting grip tape. I sell it on the website also. It's cool little shark logos, and you could customize. I just wrap that. I wrap the rods in that because it helps reinforce it. It also gives better grip, and then they're bright colored. So I do a lot of this fishing at night. So when I have the headlamps on, it kind of picks up that grip tape. But like I said, $25 rod. Go ahead.
Hold on one second.
Go ahead, Chris. Sorry.
It's $25 rod at Dick's Sporting Goods, and I'm pulling in 400 or 500 pound fish, and the action is beautiful on it. It's called the Daiwa FG. It's crazy.
So you heard that, guys. Basically, he's using spinning reels up to 20,000 in the, what was that brand again?
The Shimano Saragossa 20,000 and 25,000.
There you go. So you heard also what he uses as braided line. You heard all his shock leader, metal, the hook sizes, why you shouldn't be using smaller hooks.
I like
Why?
John.
Yeah, I'm sorry, hon. Why also you need that shock leader where you have a shark, if whips its tail around and just causes a little touch to that taut braided line, you're done. As we know, most of us being striped bass fishermen out there, anything that touches that braided line, man, is you're done. Once you touch it against the rock, you should be changing it again to a fresh line, at least up to that point where it's shredded there.
I just wanted to read
Yeah,
John
go ahead.
Francis. I like John Francisconi's tip. Prevention. Stay away from shark fishing and stick to porgies.
There you go. Also, you got a
no.
question coming in. I think Mario Gandini was asking, honey.
Okay, and we have a question from Mario.
There it is, right there.
Mario is asking, do you fish both North Shore and South Shore? Do both shores get the same type of sharks?
So this actually the South Shore holds more sharks, different species, but there are a ton of them as the years are going on. The North Shore is definitely getting them. I mean,
Wow.
I've seen a ton of browns on the North Shore recently, a couple spinner sharks, and actually when you go out to Montauk, on that North Shore over there, there's some big ones out there.
Whoa, good
Yeah,
to
those
know.
spinner sharks, man. Let me tell you, ever catch one of those, it's a good time. Let me tell you, give you a nice.
They're a fun fish to catch,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they're legal species to target. They're so much fun. I mean, I was in a hearing actually.
Yeah.
I was in one of those hearings for the shark fishing regulations, and I had a marine biologist tell me there is no such thing as spinner sharks on Long Island. We never once had a spinner shark. I'm like, I literally catch them myself
my
every
goodness.
summer, you know?
Trying to tell
And
you.
it's so much fun to catch because they put up such a fight. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable. But for people to start saying like, oh yeah, we don't have spinner shark. There was one caught today at Jones Beach today. It was probably
cool.
like 6.5 feet big. And they're
Wow.
put up a nice fight because they're like, I'd say a 6-foot spinner shark puts up an 8-foot bull shark. Not even an 8-foot brown shark fight, which brown sharks fight, they're pretty tough fish, but the spinners, they're insane. It's so
Yeah,
much fun to catch
yeah.
those things. They have so much power and energy. It's like it reminds me of an energy bunny, those things. They
Reminds
just
me
don't
of
stop.
the fish in Florida that everybody wants to catch, the tarpon.
Oh,
Another
those things are
crazy fish.
Crazy.
Yeah, yeah. You ever caught a tarpon?
No, I haven't yet. All my buddies do. They want me to go down there for that tarpon.
There you go. I was going to also ask Chris, so we talked about the gear. Go ahead, honey.
I have a question
Go ahead.
from John Kirianis is asking, do you put the weight on the shock leader or braid?
That's a great question. That is a really good question. When I first started fishing, I actually put it on the braid. But no, I put it on the shock leader now. I put on the shock leader because it's if you put on the braid, it's that weight with the with the snap swivel, it'll go to the bottom of the sand, and now it's going to sway. It's going to let more line sway through that snap swivel, as opposed to if you have it in the shock leader. Now that snap swivel is only going to sway to the first swivel going toward your cable or the swivel going toward your braided line. So you're keeping, you're keeping a distance where that bait is going to be basically constantly in the same level of the water table, as opposed to if you put it on the braid, it's just going to be swaying all over the place and you don't really know how far off the ground. A lot of these sharks are bottom feeders, and they like not necessarily right on the bottom, but they like to kind of cruise the bottom. And that's why you kind of want to keep it, a couple feet off the bottom, unless obviously you're going for like makos or any top water fish, which we're not.
We have somebody asking another question. Says Hoka Hay Plugs. He's out in California, and his question is this. He says, you ever caught a white shark, Chris? We have quite a few whiteys here in California. I've come pretty close to them twice. Once while surfing and once while free diving.
Oh my God, surfing and free diving.
Yeah.
I'm good. That's scary.
Yeah.
Them white sharks, I've caught a couple of them. The biggest one I caught was like 14 feet. Again, I'm not looking to target them. But when you're fishing, you can't tell what you're going to catch.
Correct.
But you just have to be prepared to catch those types of, animals. And the best thing to do is you got to treat them the right way, keep them in the wash. And a lot of people see that type of fish and they're like, oh my God, they either just cut the line or, you know, they don't even want to deal with it. I go right in up to my neck to try to get those hooks out. And
Wow.
I have footage which will be coming out on my YouTube soon of those catches.
Cool.
This is my first time actually saying that I'll be coming out with a YouTube on those great white catches. Again, I film everything, and you can't say what's going to hit your line, but you do know how to handle it when it does hit your line. So they're protected. They're protected fish. You're not allowed to, you know, oh, I'm going to catch a great white. Like, no, you can't say that. That's illegal. But they're, like I said, you don't know. It's illegal to catch a shorty striped bass and keep one. So, you know, you got to know what to do with it.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Chris. No doubt. Chris, I loved hearing the stories today from the story about you getting hit by the bull nose ray, and also the knowledge that we're getting from you as far as if you wanted to go out for sharks, knowledge if you do get hit by a stingray. So we're having a pretty good show, and just basic general stories. Go ahead, honey.
Just John Francisconi asking, when was the accident and where was it again?
It was on the South Shore near Jones Beach. I don't want to give exact locations, then everybody's going to start showing up.
Yeah,
I have
right.
People following my pickup truck because of my rods, the different color rods on there.
Yeah.
But it was near Jones Beach, South Shore. I mean, accident can happen anywhere on Long Island.
Of course.
Those stingrays are everywhere, especially in the August months.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was.
I also want to mention, Chris, since you know more about this too, very important to mention this. So, you know, a lot of us here, you know, we watch TV and you watch the news, and the news comes out and says, oh, there was another shark attack. And then people listen to this and, you know, the rumors go rampant crazy. Yeah, sharks are attacking people. Now, I'm personally a person to believe that they don't attack people. They don't go seeking human beings to attack. What's happening is, like you'll agree with me, there's a lot of sharks very close to shore. It's actually where people are swimming. Now, if I'm a shark and somebody steps on my back, and I'm a shark that's maybe 3 feet, 4 feet long, and gets stepped on the back by a 150-pound human, I'm going to react, and I'm going to turn around quickly, take a quick nudge bite, whatever it is. It's a form of protection for these things. They don't know what to do. I don't think they're going out being predatory creatures hunting humans. Do you think I'm right about that?
Well, I don't think you're right. I know you're right about that. I mean,
there you go.
You got the media, the stupid BS media talking that they want people to be afraid, and when you're afraid, you want to watch more. You know, it's like the way that the media mediaizes it's all BS. It's not real. There's no such thing as a shark attack. It's a shark accident. They don't go after humans on purpose. You never hear of a shark finishing a human whole. And if they might have there's something called exploratory bites, territorial bites. They're never going to attack a human. You see, first thing somebody gets even a bluefish bite on their arm, you just see headlines. Oh, shark attack, because that brings everybody's attention.
No, but it'll be better. It'll be better.
Person doesn't know that sharks don't attack.
That's right. But those bluefish fights, they're not going to blame a shark. They're going to be like, the bluefish are on us. They're attacking humans now. Watch out for the bluefish.
Honestly, it's embarrassing that the news does that.
Yeah. Wow.
And it's also embarrassing that we have people in this country that watch the news and believe every little word that they say.
Yeah, it's true.
It makes me laugh because it's like, go to science, go to scientific research, look at scientific research, and first have a little bit of insight before you start reading a headline and believing the headline.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, that's true, without a doubt. People, I remember years ago I was fishing, and I caught a shark, and I let it go as quick as I could. Also, people have to understand, I guess, sharks can't really be out of the water too long. I think a striped bass can be out longer than a shark. Because
I don't know about that.
Okay, so go ahead.
It depends on the species.
Okay.
So the sharks around here, which are brown sharks, sand tiger sharks, you have duskies. Those are the three prohibited. But then we got bull sharks here. We have spinner sharks here. We have blue sharks. You know, we have a sharp nose. We have a ton of different ones. And believe it or not, the brown shark is one of the most hardy fish in the sea. they can last such a long time out of water. Obviously, none of us keep that shark out of water, but there have been studies in Florida and specifically on the West Coast over there, and these sharks are so hardy, it's unbelievable. But then you can look at a hammerhead. A hammerhead will not last. It can die within minutes, being on the sand or out of water. Whereas a brown shark,
I don't know how you do it, Chris. I've seen you handle hammerhead, and
right.
I'm
always in the water with them. I know.
Bro, I'm paranoid. I mean, I see you, and because from what I hear, hammerheads, I know down in the Bahamas, in those type of areas, they're fish to be frightened of. I mean, if you're up there paddling in the water, is that true, Chris? Will they attack you?
I don't think hammerheads attack it. They don't attack. I mean, like I said, if it's an accident, you're swimming near bait fish, it might be, they might mistake something.
Sure.
Especially if you're wearing a black wetsuit or something like that to that effect. But they're very, very agile fish. They're very strong. They're fast and they're agile. I mean, yeah, they get to plus upwards of 20 feet, but don't let the size make you think that they're not agile, because they are very, very flexible. It reminds me of a snake. When they're in the water, they're like it's hard to handle.
That's the thing, Instagram and YouTube has brought me into light with things like that. And what do I mean by that, Chris, is exactly what you're talking about these sharks being so agile. And where did I get all that from? I watch these videos. We all watch videos of sharks cruising in the water. Nice. But if you really watch, when it comes time and they attack a fish, my God, fish. Chris, they are lightning fast to that fish. And all you see is tails flopping. I mean, powerful fish also.
Very, very powerful. I think that's one of the most powerful sharks. Definitely the top 500% is the hammerhead.
Wow.
Scary.
Wow, it is scary. Okay, yeah. So, guys, we got here today Chris. He's the LI SHARKMAN official on Instagram. Also on YouTube, Chris. What's the page on YouTube, Chris, that they can get to?
YouTube is LI SHARKMAN. Actually, that account has been I couldn't even believe it, but one of the videos actually just hit like 95 million.
What?
And, yeah, I know. I shot up this past month. I think I shot plus 170,000 followers in the past 2 weeks.
Holy
I think just
cow.
because of that one video, which was me unhooking a sand tiger shark in the wash and then bringing it back out, which is pretty cool. And then, of course, I'm going to start coming out with those great white videos and stuff on the YouTube. So
wow,
should be cool.
Excellent.
Great.
I urge you guys to take a look at that, watch that, and and learn from it. And I want to learn. Not only do I want my videos to get out there, but I want people to learn from it and have fun doing it the safe way too.
Definitely.
Right on, man. I love it. Somebody's asking really quick. Ronnie M is asking, is skishing allowed for Montauk Challenge? No, Ronnie, we don't. We have a couple of skishers that are definitely joined, but they're honest guys. They'll be fishing from the shore. Yeah, we don't allow that for the tournament, man. No. We want everybody to have the same even odds. So, yeah, heck yeah. Chris, man, some really exciting stuff with you today, brother. I got to tell you. Really, really good stuff with the shark fishing. Got a little bit of knowledge in my system, especially the one about number one tip of the day. It's got to be if you ever get hit by a bullnose ray or any type of ray, warm water, correct?
Correct. Warm water denatures that toxin, the neurotoxin.
Well, the hottest you can take it, actually.
Yes, exactly. So, like, if you can get somebody to run up to the beach bathroom or wherever you are, get hot warm water, and it'll denature that protein and it'll stop the pain. The second that my ankle hit the warm water in the hospital, they put a basin of warm water and benzo. What was it? No. Povidone iodine. They mix it with warm water. The second that warm water hit the wound, it was like nothing happened.
Wow.
But the pain for 2 hours oh man,
Holy
that's why I
smokes,
try to tell everybody. It's good to know for any type of fisher, even if you're not shark fishing. I mean, you're doing any type, because you don't know. A lot of guys wade with the waders when they're striper fishing.
Sure.
That barb will go right through your boot,
Yeah.
right through the.
I
no
saw
problem.
Chris. I swear to God, man. I was watching an episode with a gentleman called, what was his name, honey? Horse. what's that horse? That fish that's a shoehorn or?
A horseshoe, not a horseshoe crab.
No. Forgot what it's called, guys. You guys
A
know.
seahorse?
Yeah, seahorse. So his name
Yeah.
is Seahorse or something. Anyway, he had a stingray right up on there, and you seen it happen right live on the video, dude. It went through his boot on the bone side where the ankle, right through, and he got lucky because it went through, and all that hit him was the point of the barb, caused some stitches right next to the bone, next to the ankle. So he was very, very lucky. But in that sense, what I learned from you today was that all the neurotoxins that are on there. So even if it scrapes you, you've got to go to the hospital and get checked out to make sure that you're not. Go ahead, Chris.
100%. Because it's loaded with neurotoxins and a ton of different bacteria.
And don't touch those barbs at all, right, Chris?
No, because actually this one I have cleaned. It's white.
Of course.
Of course. I put it in what did I put it in? Bleach,
Clorox.
and I bleached it. Really, on the stingrays, it's covered in a black sheath. That black sheath you don't want to touch because that black sheath is loaded with, like I said, neurotoxins and a ton of different bacteria that you don't want going in anywhere near your body.
Right.
Right. Very important. Pretty cool, man. I love that. What's up, Vinny? How you doing? That's Fishing with Vinny's out there. Let's go to the Hudson River in November. Let's go, baby. I'm waiting for you, Vinny. Yeah, boy. As far as sharks, hey, John Francisconi, this one's for you. Do you remember of any sharks in the Hudson River? I know maybe around the inlets, but around Piermont, do you know of any sharks being caught up there? Just out of curiosity, I'm asking. So when you're ready, Johnny, you give us that magic answer up there. John Francisconi, Chris, is, we call him King of the Hudson. He fishes the Hudson many, many years. And I go to him with some of my basic needs sometime, which is asking some questions because the guy knows a lot. He's been fishing down there, a very, very long guy. Nice. John Black, he says, a guy near my boat dock said he seen a bull shark in his green light for a few nights ago blasting on bait. I have no reason not to believe him, but I have you heard of this up there, LISS?
That's I would definitely believe that. I mean, they're brackish water fish. They like to go up those rivers and estuaries like that. I mean, down in Florida, they're hanging up in those rivers all the time. So I wouldn't. I definitely believe that that's possible, 100%.
Right.
I mean, especially in that. I actually crossed the Hudson today. I was coming back from my cabin upstate, and that's funny that you
should have stopped at my house.
Yeah. What's that?
You should have stopped at my house. I'm minutes from the bridge. Hey, Eric, you got some antibiotics left over? Come on in, Chris. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh, man.
So
I can't wait to be off those antibiotics.
Yeah.
I can't wait to walk again, man.
Sure. I know the feeling, buddy. I know the feeling. Honey, anything else coming in for Chris that I'm missing?
No, I think that's it. John Francisconi
Oh,
heard a
it
shark
says-
caught off of the Crab House Pier,
Yeah, that was it.
but
He
not
said-
in Piermont.
Not in Piermont, though. Not up that high, I guess. So it is what it is. I was just curious to know. I know John would know if anybody knew. So anyhow, Chris, anything else that you'd like to inform us on? We are coming up on the end of the hour. Obviously, with a guy like you, lots of knowledge, lots of good stories. I had you on a little extra tonight.
I mean, if anybody ever wanted to ask me a question or anything like that, shoot me a direct message on Instagram. I do get a lot of messages on there, but I will definitely get around to it. Any questions, if you need advice or anything like that, I'm not that guy to keep secrets. I like to share all the information with everybody. The only secrets I keep is just where I'm fishing. If you need anything else, I'm open to helping, open to giving advice on what gear to use, or if you have if you lost a fish, I can do my best to try to help and figure out why you lost that fish or what you could do better next time. Or if anybody wanted to learn everything that I do, I do the charters, and one day booking with me, you learn my whole 10 years of experience. And some guys book just to catch a shark, other guys book just to learn everything and learn all my tidbits, tricks and stuff like that I've learned for the past 10 years. And that alone, you take it with you, and now you could do it for yourself for free all the rest of your life.
You got two questions coming in. I'm going to start off with Wormway first. Anything on those big baits other than sharks and rays?
Actually, let's see.
You must have
No.
caught a striper, Chris, on those.
Oh yeah, I've caught striped bass. I've caught monster blues.
Yeah,
You know those
yeah.
gator blues.
Sure.
Let's see what else. They actually, I mean, it's still a ray, butterfly rays, which I haven't seen in. Actually, this is the first year that I've seen those get caught. But no, on the bigger, not really.
Gotcha.
Maybe an occasional cobia.
There you go.
But other than that, no. But I definitely know that within the next couple of years, different, a lot of different species are going to be coming up the coast and
Sure.
feeding.
Also, I want to ask you, well, not I want to ask you, but we got a question coming in from Antagonizer Laws. Tony, what's up, buddy? How you doing? He's asking, what's his bait of choice? What's your bait of choice, Chris?
Honestly, I started out not shark fishing, but I actually started out fishing from the beach with bunker, striped bass fishing with bunker. I took the bunker, cut it into 3 pieces, and I started striped bass fishing like that. Unfortunately, I didn't catch a striped bass. I caught a shark, and to this day, my go-to bait is bunker.
Nice, nice. A lot of us,
people, you know, it's.
I love it too.
It's the same bait you use for striped bass fishing when you chunk it for bass. You know,
that's correct, buddy. Edwin Rivera. It says, what's his biggest changes he's noticed over the 10 years fishing right now?
The species of sharks that we're seeing, for sure.
Wow.
For sure. The species is I mean, I'm out there. You guys got to remember, I'm out there for the past like 9 to 10 years. I'm out there during the summer, 6 to 7 days a week fishing for like 6 to 10 hours. And a lot of people think, what does this guy not have a job? He freaking fishes. Well, this is what I do. You know, I advertise my stuff on social media, and I take, you know, charters on the beach. So I fish that much, and I'm able to see that much. And, you know, I have a database book where I jot down temperatures, and not only am I just seeing,
Oh, we lost him. He's back. He's back. We got you back, Chris.
There was a little pause there, Chris.
Okay, so basically,
not only you what?
It was the species. Not only is it just the species of sharks that I'm noticing, that there's more of them. There's more variety as the years go on, but also the warmer water temperatures. So by every year, I'd say about a half a degree to a full degree of water temperature, it's increasing as each year goes on, which is bringing in all those species.
That's amazing. That's really, really a lot.
Yeah, that's even 1 degree is there.
Yes.
All these fish are very sensitive. I mean, I'm sure you guys know in the striper community, like these fish are sensitive to 1 degree. They're here or they're not.
Yeah, especially here in the Hudson.
True.
When they're spawning, they have to find those just right temperatures, man. Those eggs, the ones that are hatching, they're just in the right temperature of water where it hatches. We're not talking about hatching. We're just talking about how sensitive these fish are to water temperatures. I know also Maine had a great year this year up there. The fish stood a little longer up there. They had a good year up in Maine. Waters are colder, obviously, up there. So, you know, the striped bass was always known to migrate from as far as up as Nova Scotia down to Maryland, even a few down in Florida, I heard, down North Florida. But that's not really going to be happening as much anymore. I think they'll be up more north as the years go by, in such as places like Rhode Island, Connecticut, Massachusetts, North Massachusetts, go up to New Hampshire. New Hampshire doesn't have a big area of fishing up there, but still they got their fishing area, and also Maine and all the way up to Nova Scotia. I don't know, Chris. I'm no expert on that, but it amazes me, the ride of the striped bass, which direction, where he's going. Everybody has different philosophies, and some are more true than others, but we never know, bro. We never know. That's what makes fishing called fishing. I always tell everybody that it's great.
No, I agree. I do have to say, I definitely agree with that. I think they're gonna start hanging out more north.
Yeah.
Because they're not they don't like the warmer water temperatures.
That's
And
correct,
that's
brother.
that's coming up from the south. I mean,
Yeah.
there's spots in Florida right now that are upwards of 100 degrees.
Damn,
How,
I
how
know.
is
I
the
heard
fish
about
supposed
that.
to thrive in that oxygen
No,
deprived water?
no.
It's impossible.
Wow.
That's why, Chris, also I want to mention when you say oxygen deprived water. So basically, when I catch a fish on the shore, it could be a 25-inch schoolie. Man, sometimes that fish will feel so powerful. You're thinking you're reeling in like a 20-pound fish sometimes. I don't want to exaggerate,
Right.
but it feels very, very strong. But here in the rivers, we don't get much of that battling going on because in the rivers, we don't have that white surf. We don't have that oxygenated water. That's
Right.
why here we don't fish with lures, not to make it easy for the fish. They just don't hit them. They don't go
Right.
chasing after them. They've already
Yeah.
spent their energy coming up the river. They're just sitting back, bro. They're waving that big tail,
Exactly.
and they're waiting
They're
yeah.
lethargic. That type of,
Yes.
they have to swim up and then they're hanging out in not as oxygen rich water.
Yep.
That makes the fish lethargic. So you're going to have a lethargic fight.
That's right.
Whereas they're in that white water, getting all that oxygen from the water turning, and it's colder. They're going to fight like, like a guy ready to go into the MMA ring. They're
Yep.
oxygen rich, and that's what it is. And down, like I said, down in Florida, getting back to what I was saying earlier about how those hammerheads, when they're caught, you need to deal with them very quickly because especially when they're in that warm waters, they get tired very easily. They're
Absolutely.
lethargic, and sometimes they don't have the energy to even make it to the shore. So it's like
Yep.
you got to really be mindful of those water temperatures.
Absolutely. Guys, if anybody, honey, you want to put up the number? If anybody wants to call in, feel free. I see Mike Shrugs is out there. How you doing, buddy? My buddy Mike saying he's got a book with you. Mike's an excellent fisherman. He'll be down at the tournament, too, with his buddies, Timmy, and the rest of the gang over there. Mike Shrugs is a big fisherman in New Jersey, fishes a lot, fishes from the boat, fishes from the shore. He loves to fish, and he knows his area very, very well. When I go down to Jersey, if I can get Mike's time and I can go fishing with those guys, I always do. They teach me a lot. It isn't just about running to the spot with me. They know me very well. I'm consistently asking questions because I love to learn new things, such as I have today. Chris, in all my years fishing, in all my years, I too, Chris, have caught many, many fish. I hung out in Field 6, Jones Beach, for almost 35 years of my life, fishing in Speedos back in the days, and that's the way I did it. I went down there with bunker chunk and squid, and that's the way I did it, Chris. Every week, on the weekends, I was there. And, and most of the time when I go, I'd hang out overnight. I'd have my night fishing passes, obviously, and I would just sit there for 2 days, Saturday, Sunday. At the end of Sunday, I would take that long, long ride home. But that's what I did. That's what I fished. Many, many stingrays, too. Things that I didn't know. Things that I'm lucky I didn't get hit by the bob. I didn't get hit by the bob because at that time I thought it was the tail that if it hit you.
That's what everybody thinks.
Yes.
Everybody thinks that.
Yep. And that's what I was afraid of. But I never got hit with them. I, too, like you, have tried very hard to take out hooks. If I felt it was too much for me to go for it, especially with the sharks, my biggest shark, I think, was 7 or 8 feet. I have a couple of pictures. Yeah, I have a couple of pictures. A couple of brown sharks of the tiger sand sharks, which are pretty cool to catch. But again, I didn't know what I was doing back in the day. Maybe I might have had them out of the water, out of the surf, which you should not be doing with any fish today. If you can I see you, man. You're constantly in the surf. Yeah. They're constantly being covered with water. And you're very quick. I see you working it, bro. You're very safe. You're calling out names. Hold that. Do that. Don't let go. And you have to be serious in situations like that.
100%.
Even if you're dealing with a guide, you can't sit there and go, well, listen, when I ask, can you just let go of it now? So the deal is done and nobody gets hurt,
That's right. And I put myself in the position of when people are out there with me, they see me, I'm yelling and I'm freaking, I get the adrenaline going because it's a serious thing. People see me there. Oh shit, this kid is
That's
yelling.
right. It's legit.
It makes it
it's legit, baby.
Serious, but it makes it more fun.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you got to be safe, and you got to just do what you have to do at the right time. And again, just stay safe and just
No doubt.
not
No
only
doubt.
for yourself, but also remind yourself that we got to take care of the safety of the fish too.
Right, right. And let's not forget, we don't want the shark to take a leg of one of your charters with them, and
Right,
then they'll be
right.
at the end of the
Oh
fishing
my
career.
God, knock on wood.
man,
I don't want to
that's
say that. I'm joking, guys. I shouldn't
No, I
joke
know,
like
I
that,
know.
but
Danny Morales says, Mr. P, tell Chris he's been a real knowledgeable guest. Definitely appreciate it. So everybody's
Thank
you
you.
go.
Appreciate that.
yeah,
enjoying
we're
the
gonna have you
knowledge.
back, Chris, when you got
Definitely.
1 million subs, and you should be driving or on the beach with the first ever 4-wheel drive Lamborghini by then. So we'll see you on the beach then for sure. I'm always, I'm always enamored, or I should say happy, when I have really good guests on. All my guests are good, but sometimes they're a little extra special, like yourself. You've been fishing many years for sharks. When I think of catching sharks or fishing for them, I always think of you first, Chris. I don't know whether it's because I saw you first, but I just like the way you handle yourself in the surf, which is number one for me. Go ahead, honey. You were going to say something?
No, that's it. I was trying to see if
You're
anybody
hungry
else
again?
had
You
a
want
question.
pizza? What is it? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
He's so bad.
God.
No, no,
Are you going to the show in Pennsylvania this year in February?
no. The show, which one is that in
The
Pennsylvania?
expo. It's a Pennsylvania expo. Or didn't I see you at one of the
Oh,
shows?
yeah.
Yes,
haven't
you
seen
did. You
that
saw
one.
me in Long Island, I think at the Zeno show. That was.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be out there a little bit more this year because I
Cool.
didn't because of my ankle.
Right.
And it's, it's equipment you got to carry still to these shows that I got to bring.
Yeah.
This
I
year
hear
I'm
you.
going to do quite a few shows for sure, 100%, Chris.
Next
We'll
year.
probably be at the shows together. If you want, Chris, get in touch with Bill Jacob. I don't know if he's on right now. He was on a little earlier. Get in touch with Bill Jacob. He's throwing the show in November. That's the Montauk Surf Association show. I don't know if he's got any tables left, but if you want, I can always get you in touch with him. Maybe if you want to get a booth there, and
Okay. Great.
I'll give you an update on that and let you know for sure, 100%.
You
But
got it.
yeah, I'll see you at the other shows again. I'll be there for sure. I got quite a few things set up this year for my show. I'm finally producing some hats, some T-shirts. The name now has been trademark registered. So everybody out there with Mr. Poseidon on YouTube, because before I came out, there was only one guy in the world named Mr. Poseidon. It was a Japanese singer.
On YouTube.
And now there's no more. So whenever I want, I can actually have the right to take you down, but I'm not going to do that. I'm a nice guy. I'll take you guys down so fast. All right, anyway. Other than that, Chris, thank you so much. But before you go, Chris,
Oh.
is there anything else? Go ahead, honey.
We want to talk about the giveaway.
Oh, that's right. 1 second, Chris. Stand by here.
You
with
got
us.
it.
I'm sorry, guys. So last week we had
This
a
week's
choice of
giveaway.
a giveaway. This week's giveaway, let me show you guys on the overhead. So this is a pretty plug here. This is like a daughter sort of thing. So basically what happens is Dylan Jewell donated this to us. And when I say us, that's including you guys. Beautiful little lure here, a pattern on the bottom with a purplish, bluish offset on top. A little bit of a sparkle in there. Some nice eyes, treble hooks, bearing on the bottom. And also, that's it. This is for you guys, man. You guys, if you left a message on last week's live stream, we're going to be taking it from there. We're going to be spinning it. And you want to spin it right now, hon?
Okay.
Go ahead,
Ready?
spin it
Oh,
right now.
one more comment.
Yeah, go ahead.
For Chris. I
Yeah.
think I Fish for Pleasure was saying that his son or her son
It says,
wants
Chris,
to
my
work.
son's. Yeah, read it, honey. Just
And
read it.
And here he goes. Chris, my son said next summer he'll hold all the tails. He accepts burgers as payment.
Burgers is payment.
I love their account. Their account is so cool. Look up I Fish for Pleasure.
Very cool.
It's him and his son do this crazy. They're crazy fishing. The kid is oh man, he's like, if I had a son, I wish he's gonna be like him. That kid he's got the sickest
cool.
footage on there of him fishing. He's wild. He's into it. He's not shy behind the
Sure.
camera. You guys got to check him out. He's
All right,
he's
so
awesome.
there it is, guys.
Will
I
do.
Fish for Pleasure. We'll leave a link on the bottom of the video, honey.
Yeah.
So we'll leave a link on the bottom of the video to guys catch up with that. I Fish for Pleasure. You heard it right from Chris here. Kid's an exciting kid to watch fishing, so Check that out. I fish for pleasure. Churchwood, thank you for the donation. Guys, we take donations here, whether they're $1 or $1 million. We take it all, and we're happy every time we take it.
Mr. P, speaking of donation, I want to, maybe you could I'll shoot you a text, but I want to send you a bunch of these rod wraps and a bunch of shirts for you, every couple weeks, do a couple giveaways on there.
Yeah. We'll do that, Chris, for sure. I definitely take donations like that. So you heard it. We'll get a couple of shirts. And Chris, you want to do a shirt giveaway right now?
Yeah, sure.
So put up that shirt right now. Put it up, and we'll give it away with the Lord.
It's basically this type of shirt. It says Shark.
Ah, there you go.
On the back, it says "Just Fish." It's pretty cool. It's like
no, it doesn't say that. It says "You suck" on it, Chris. no, it doesn't say that.
Let me see.
Turn.
Cool.
Keep turning all the way.
Hang on, let me get
Yeah. We're waiting. Delco Joe, you're always a gentleman. You always donate to our channel. I feel so bad asking for donations, and it's always Delco Joe, who's giving a donation. Also, the Striper Hunt's always donating to us. Churchwood, how's it going? Thank you so much for that. Delco Joe, you're a gentleman and a scholar, bro. I can't wait to see you at the challenge. I don't know if you know, Joe, but we did raise the stakes. We added a second prize of $1,000 and a third prize of $500. Guys, if you're listening to us out there, and my lovely wife, how you doing, honey? Hi. Let's get that little mini Mrs. P up there. Where is it? Mini Mrs. P. All right, let's leave it like that. So basically, no, don't change it. She doesn't like to be on camera. But anyway, my wife's a beautiful woman. So basically, what was I going to say, honey?
I don't know.
I forgot now. So if you are not a subscriber to my channel on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel on YouTube. I'm begging you. And also on Instagram, Mr. Poseidon Fishing. Mr. and underscore Poseidon underscore Fishing. So it's Mr. Poseidon Fishing. Thank you to Danny D. Morales. Thank you to the Striper Hunt for those donations. Danny D. Morales is saying, tell Chris he's been a pleasure to have on the show and very knowledgeable, and I appreciate the info. Let me tell you something, Chris, about Danny D. Morales. Danny's a tough guy, I like to call him. Danny can probably knock anybody out of my subscribers, all 2,000 of them at the same time. He is the man, Danny. I appreciate Danny. I respect him. He's a good family man. He's got kids, his wife. He works very hard, and he loves his fishing just like the rest of us do. Turtle Cove Tackle, I didn't say hello to my buddy Ken. Ken, how are you? Had a rough trip to Montauk, little explosion, but you know what I'm talking about, Ken. Other than that, we had a good time Monday. I was out there with Ange. That's the Gorilla Anglers. We had a good time, man. Very good time. All right, back to Chris again. Now, no, we're going to do that raffle now, that giveaway, right?
Yeah.
All right, so with this giveaway, you're going to be getting a nice Shark Bite Gear T-shirt that Chris just showed you.
Yes, this is the front of it, and then the back, it's this type of pattern. It says "Just Fish" on it.
There you go, baby. It is pretty cool, Chris.
How do you do the giveaway? What do you do?
So basically what I do, Chris, is for you guys who don't know, you go to last week's live stream, and you leave on the comment anything you want to leave. Hello, goodbye, and you're in the drawing. So for anybody right now, and for anybody out there now who's new on the channel and didn't do that, I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes. If you want to get off the channel, get off. Go to my site on YouTube. Go to last week's live stream, which was with who, honey?
That was the Labor Day.
Yeah, that was the Labor Day one. There wasn't anybody on, just me and the wife.
September 3rd.
Yeah, that was September 3rd. And leave a comment. And then we'll pull from that comment, and hopefully somebody will win over here. How you doing, Ange? Good to see you. So we're going to give them 5 minutes. Anything else you want to say? Anything to anybody, Chris?
No. I mean, if anybody has any questions, comments, concerns, or anything like that, you know, shoot me a DM on Instagram, and I'll be happy to answer, help.
I have a question for my wife tonight. Honey, can you put the heat on anymore? Can you put more heat on?
Chris is like, I can't believe you said.
Come on, man.
I'm on the same page. I get so hot so quickly. It's crazy.
I'm didn't shut it off. It shut off on
No, it shuts off by itself, Chris. It turns on by itself. You know, my air conditioners are special.
Argument. Oh, my goodness.
You know, I wake up sometimes in the middle of the night, and I look over. The AC's not on, and I look over, and I see my wife with that thin little sheet. It goes all the way up to her chin. and right here I see a bead of water on her lips, and she has a smile on her face. I'm like, listen, man.
Oh,
The AC, it's
All right.
came
that
on.
was
She
funny.
turned it
That was
on.
funny. I got a question for you.
Had
Can you
to-
put the heat on? The
That's so crazy.
Yeah, it's
All
so
right.
crazy. Yeah. All right, so you want to do that thing? Okay, hold on. Give him a few more minutes,
All
honey.
right, Chris, you gonna
Give
hang
him a
out?
few more minutes.
While we
Just
do
another
the
1
drawing,
minute,
we
yeah.
pick we use the YouTube random comment picker.
Yeah.
Put in last
Gotcha.
week's live
Yeah.
stream video.
If
link.
you ever want to do anything like that, just give me a call, Chris. I'll
Yeah,
make sure
no,
my name. I'll
100%.
make sure my name comes up every time.
Oh, Joe Albanese says, ever get a Mako?
Ah, there you
No,
go.
I haven't. I have not. I haven't. Those you are like you going. It's. I mean, we have them over here in Long Island. I mean, they're not as, you know. You don't really come by them a lot
Right,
when you're
right.
surf casting for sharks, but over there in Texas near the Panhandle,
Yeah.
down there, they're catching them down there. So I'll probably make a trip over there
Nice.
one of these days and try to see if I could get one of them.
Definitely. All right, so let's do that swing, honey.
Okay, here, we're going to run the thing right now. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And is RJQC Brian. Brian, are you out there, Brian?
Nice.
Yeah, RJQC Brian. Brian's a cool guy. I've been fishing with him a few times out in Montauk. He's actually making the trophy for me. It'll be ready soon enough. I got the base being made by him. He's a wood maker. He's also done a board for me for my kitchen, cutting board. Beautiful stuff, Chris. This
No
guy's
way.
stuff.
He did, what kind of woodwork? Like
Oh, my
pretty
God,
cool.
beautiful.
I gotta
Yeah.
get
beautiful
something
stuff.
shark related.
Oh, now I'm gonna put you in touch with him, definitely. Yeah, because you need that, man. It's
Don't tell me Brian's not on.
Brian's not on tonight, and he's always on. Brian is always on.
He's
All right,
on,
so we're gonna
alright.
give him the quick 10-minute countdown here, the 10-second countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7. I'm moving it a little quicker because I know he's not here. 6, 5, 4,
Feels like 10 seconds
3,
are up already.
2, 1. I'm sorry. Next time, Brian. Go ahead, spin it. Pick, and the winner is. We got the Brooklyn Angler Fishing. Brooklyn Angler Fishing. There he is. I see him from here. Anyone want to fish Breezy Point at the end of this week? Let's see if he's here. There he is.
There's
All
Brooklyn
right,
Angler
congratulations,
Fishing. Very
Brooklyn
nice.
Angler Fishing. You win this beautiful lure from, what was it? Dylan Jules,
Dylan Jewell.
who's, what's the head and Libba?
He's Li Bass Hunter, right? And
Yeah.
he's a director at Libba.
And director at Libba. Good guy.
And
Thank you.
also
Yes.
the shirt. From
Yeah,
LI
and also
Sharkman.
that's what's coming now. And also the winner of a shirt, which Chris is wearing right now. And on the back it says Just Fish. Cool stuff. Chris, I don't know what to say. Thank you so much. I think, like I said, the last time I had you here, you had 25 followers. You had just switched over from TikTok. Am I correct?
Right. Yeah, I had like not a lot. Maybe like I think it was like 20. The last time we were on, I think I had like 25,000 or something.
No,
Nothing crazy, and
Chris,
now
it was-
it's freaking just.
It was
almost-
a lot lower, Chris. Trust me. You're amazing. You're an amazing
I'm trying,
dude.
I'm
You make.
trying. You're doing good too yourself.
Thank you, Chris. Nothing like you, but I'm trying. It's
Yeah.
very difficult. And I love having people like you on my show to spread the knowledge to all the people that come to the show and anybody else who watches it in the reruns. Chris, we'd love to have you up at the Montauk Striper Challenge if you could make it. That's a 3-day thing coming up on the 19, 20, 21st. It's also a thing you can bring your fiance with you. My wife takes out all the girls on a Friday for a brunch. And again, we have all kinds of competitions. The longest cast, most accurate, the largest fish, which pays $3,500, a nice first prize. I Fish for Pleasure. Thank you so much for that. $5 for My Fish for Pleasure. We accept donations here. It's how we make money. Also, for the Striper Challenge, guys, it's a $20,000 event. I am not exaggerating at all here. Things do not come free. We're also going to have the awards night at the Shagwan Tavern. It's going to be a great, great time. Chris, last but last, you want to say hello to anybody? Anybody out there?
Shout outs.
Shout outs.
Not really, just everybody. Honestly, just hope to see everybody on the beach catching fish, and until I'm on the beach again, you know.
That's right.
I'll,
What about me,
make it more
Chris?
content.
You don't tell me. What about me?
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Thanks so
Thanks for
much,
having me,
Chris.
though.
Thanks
Really
for coming
Yeah.
on.
You're going to be on again, Chris. You're a dynamite guy,
Awesome.
very
Yeah, we'll
knowledgeable.
keep in touch. We'll keep in touch.
Absolutely, Chris, 100%. And I got to be able to go out with you. I was planning to
100%.
go out until I had that second
Right.
surgery. I had spoken to you. But anyway,
Yeah.
other than that, thank you to everybody for coming out to the show. Remember to subscribe to my channel. Guys, there's a lot of you on here. I expect you to hit the like button at least, okay?
Thanks,
Because the like
guys.
button helps me out in the algorithm, and maybe I can catch up to Chris, but that's not going to happen anytime soon. Other than that,
And comment on the post
Yeah.
once it posts. And
yeah,
you'll
comment.
be in
We're going to have
the
another giveaway next week.
next week.
And you'll be on it automatically. To everybody out there, thank you so much for coming on. My man D-Bar Wormway, Mike Patrick, what's up? Churchwood, thank you again. Danny D. Morales, Brock, Ronnie M. Oh, whew. Who we got out there? I Fish for Pleasure. Delco Joe, the whole works. Thanks, guys. I'll see you guys all next week. And
Thanks,
once again,
Chris.
thanks, Chris.
You
See you
got
next
it.
week, buddy. That's the end of the show.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, we got a little softer stuff going on. Thanks, guys.